the rest of the show. Tomo, floor is yours.
All right, I'll let you take over the comments, man. Football season. It's right before, we had 2 weeks in between, where sports was just slow. It was just like, what, if you watch baseball, sports wasn't really that slow. But if you're like a diehard football fan or a basketball fan, you had a little bit of the summer league. But as far as the NFL, it was really just slow. It was like, what's going on here? We got people still talking about debates of old quarterbacks, man. Like, we don't even want to hear about these quarterbacks no more. We got people talking about number 2 receivers as tight ends. We don't want to hear about that right now. We want some new news. And Tua said, don't worry about it. Hold my beer. And he walked right up to the front of the line and said, you know what? I think the Dolphins going to be, not I think, he said, I know the Dolphins are going to be legit contenders. And we could be very scary and pretty dangerous. I ain't never seen Flipper go crazy, but Tua may be proving us wrong. Question is, how dangerous are the Dolphins? And I'm starting with you, Joe.
Oh, I love the topic. All right, I love the topic. So look, I'm with Tua, man. I'm with Tua Tagovailoa. So look, this is how I look at the AFC pyramid. I got the Chiefs at number 1. All right, Chiefs number 1 at the tier on their own. Boom. And then second tier, I got the Ravens, Bengals, Bills, and Dolphins. I got Dolphins a tier 2 team. Last year, coming to the season, I had the Dolphins winning a division in the AFC South. And this year, I'm leaning towards that this year too. You look at their teams, right? Look at their team. They got a lot of weapons on both sides of the floor, on both sides of the field. I don't know what's going on right now, but we're going to keep going. Both sides of the field. On the receiver side, they got Tyreek Hill and Waddle. I think last year they were top 2 of the 5 in yards last year. 5 or 6 players in yards last year. Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle. I like the running back duo, even though both of them are kind of injury prone. Raheem Mostert, even though Raheem Mostert only missed 1 game last year, I think. And they got Jeff Wilson, who they picked up at the trade deadline, who's they kind of like they both speedy running backs, who's is perfect for Mike McDaniel's offense. And we know how Mike McDaniel's changed life in Miami when he got there. All right. Also, you look on I like Jalen Phillips too, the offensive lineman, Pro Bowler. Bradley Chubb on defense, X-Men on defense, Jalen Ramsey they picked up, right? Kevin Holland. They got pieces. And then you got Vic Fangio orchestrating that defense. That was a problem last year. They were explosive offensively, but defensively they couldn't get it together. They remind me of the Ravens until Roquan Smith came. They got good players on the roster, but they can't put it together. That's how I felt like they were last year. But this year they got Vic Fangio. Vic Fangio, last time his defensive coordinator in 2018 for the Chicago Bears when they were looking good still, they had the number 3 defense in yards, number 1 in points. Last time he was defensive coordinator. So he's going to change like that. The X factor is Tua. He has to stay healthy. Like J-Mo always say, keep your head in the game, no pun intended. All right? Last year, started off 3-0. Play the Bengals, he gets hurt. They lose to the Bengals, they lose to the Vikings by like a touchdown, and they got blown out by the Jets with their going Zach Wilson. Come on now. And then he comes back against the Steelers, beat the Steelers, go on a 5-game win streak. And then he ran into the 49ers, ran into the Bills, lost some close, got killed by 49ers, lost close game to the Bills, lost close game to the Chargers, and they got hurt against Green Bay again. 3 injuries in 1 year. So he has to stay healthy, and I like Mike White, their backup quarterback. So Mike White can slide in. If Tua gets hurt, I think he'll still do a good job. So I got the Dolphins being dangerous and scary, just like Tua said. I agree with him.
Vaughn?
I don't agree with him. Now, they do have speed out there. Tua is a quick hitter. He's a very accurate. Mike is out there calling some great plays. They picked up some pieces on the defensive side. Got a defensive coordinator, and they did look very good last year on the offensive side. However, what do they do to their offensive line to make that better? That's their problem. Their problem is protecting Tua. And I think another way they should protect them is by running the ball more. If you look at Raheem Mostert and also Jeff Wilson, they both average 4.9 yards a carry and 4.7 yards a carry. That's a good clip right there. That's one. Now, I think McDaniels do the same thing that the Cowboys used to do with Dak and what the Bills do with Josh Allen. They get a little too pass happy. That's what the league is turning into, actually. But I feel like that's what's killing the Dolphins, really. I think they should not lean more, but they should open up their playbook more and allow their running backs to get more involved, only to free up Tua and to take some pressure off him as well. Um, if you look at, like, to be honest, I feel like Tua started off good, but then the league started to kind of catch on to what the Dolphins was doing. I mean, if you watch that game against us, only reason why they won because Kenny Pickett threw, I think, 2 or 3 interceptions in the clutch. One thing I think they will be scary only because they got two of the fastest receivers in the league. I mean, you got Tyreek Hill over there. I mean, he could take the top off for anybody. Same with Waddle. I think that's the only thing people are really going to be scared of. It ain't going to be like the complete Dolphins team themselves. It's really just those 2 outside receivers. Because, like you said, Joe, is Tua going to be healthy?
Mm-hmm.
Are those running backs going to finish the year? I mean, like you said, most of them play most of the games. But, however, I'm not sure. I think Mike McDaniels and them, they're getting a little too happy with the pass. And I think they should lean a little bit more on their running game because it's very effective.
Okay. So for me, you said pass happy. I mean, how can you be upset at them being pass happy when you got 2 of the fastest receivers and they both got over 1,000 yards receiving, right? Like they saying it's working for them. Also, Tua, if you Tua, what you gonna say? You gonna like, man, I think we're gonna go out there. You know, we're gonna be okay. We probably win some games. We might make the playoffs. Like that's boring. That's a Dak answer. I like what Tua said, man. Yeah, we're gonna be dangerous. Hey, get y'all something, get you riled up about it because you got Jalen Ramsey there. You added some pieces, and I believe it was this very show where we all said that the Miami Dolphins are going to be the better team in that division. They're going to finish ahead of the Bills because of the moves they made. Unless the Bills go out and do something drastically different, I think we kind of picked Miami to win that division. So if Tua can't stay healthy, you know. They were winning. They were 8-5 with him. I mean, that's a winning record in the NFL. They were 1-3 without him. So they can show you that when he's on the field, he makes a difference. The only thing is, like you said, with that O-line, they did go out and sign a free agent. They got another offensive lineman, but sometimes it takes more than one. So we'll see. You also got to use more of the run game. So the pass happy idea of it, they do need to scale it back just a tad because you don't want your quarterback on his back no more. Because if the threat of the run game is there, some form of a threat, it doesn't have to be the greatest, but some form of a threat of a run game with those fast receivers, we're gonna make life different. And they got Chosen Anderson, so they added another speedy receiver to that wide receiver core. So we're gonna see. I believe what you were saying, man. They are gonna be pretty dangerous.
All right, look, man. All right, I agree with Tomo, Javon. I'm not going to scale back on the passing. I mean, they had a 60-40 ratio with passing and run. I mean, I think that's a good ratio for the weapons they got offensively. I mean, you got, like he said, Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. Jalen Waddle held 115 catches, I think, his rookie year before Tyreek Hill even got there. You know, so I'm gonna pass the ball too, and a lot of and then the pass opens up the run. Raheem Mostert averaged 5 yards to carry. It opens up the run. He's a speedy back, and they can use Raheem Mostert in the passing game because of his speed. You know, so now I do think they might run a little bit more this year, but I don't think that was a major problem. The only problem was Tua getting hurt. Those 5 games you talk about, Tomo, right? Now they were 8-0 without him because he gets killed for that loss against the Bengals when the score was 7-6 when he got hurt, and they lost 27-15. So I'm not gonna give them that. All right. So they were 8-0 without him. I could easily say that they could have been 11-0. Right. I do believe they would have beat the Bengals. Right. They lost to the Jets with Zach Wilson, and they lost by a touchdown to Minnesota with the backup. You know, so if Tua's healthy, they're gonna be dangerous. And the main reason is because they have the weapons and they have the coaching staff. All right. Vic Fangio being outdated. Like I said, the last time he was a coach, defensive coordinator, 2018, they were the number 1 defense in the NFL. All right, as far as points allowed. So, and they were not a good team offensively. So Vic Fangio, I don't think he's outdated at all. So I got Tua in the Dolphins, Javon. I mean, if we bank on him getting injured, then you got a good point. But if he's healthy, then they're gonna be dangerous.
That's a big if, though. See, my thing is, I think running the ball more will keep him healthy. That's my whole thing. I don't think they should make it 50-50. Just don't come out first down, most first downs passing the ball. I mean, when he got hurt against the Bengals, it was like a clean hit. It was crazy. It was like it took. And like I see Coach talking in the chat. I mean, the chat talking about how a lot of their routes are deep, and then I mean Waddle don't go as deep all the time like Tyreek Hill. But I just feel like if they open up their playbook a little bit more with the run game, even having Tyreek Hill or Waddle get some runs in, like you have those type of players on your team. You don't have to always have Tua drop back and survey the field. Like get it out quick, get some runs in. That's my whole point here. It's to keep your quarterback healthy, you gotta use the people around him a little bit more in different ways. That's my whole thing. Because I agree, if he's healthy, yeah, but if they go out there and play like they played last year, I don't know if he's gonna make it. To be honest,
he got a lot of the fall. That's his problem.
I don't like how you did like that when you say you gotta learn how to fall, because that's how he was doing it too.
Man, and then
Mike came out of nowhere. It was crazy.
I like Mike White too. I like Mike White. I don't think Mike White is a bum. You know, so
I like him too.
I think with Mike McDaniel and then with Tyreek Hill and them, Mike he can step in and still win games for him.
Yeah, and I like what. Hey, Skyler almost beat them Bills, but I ain't gonna say too much about that. But like you said, Dovan, they do have the pieces, and he do need to open up the playbook just a little bit more. As far as like, if you put Waddle in the back, Waddle or Tyreek Hill in the backfield, that will throw a defense off because you never know what's about to happen. Hey, but we talking